Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the introduction, Dan, and the welcome. Great to see so many faces here in Lough Erne. My name is Sharon Lavin. I'm the Head of Marketing and Communications for Waterways Ireland. Our actual head office is really just across the water here, for some of you that don't know. And I'm here today to talk to you about our archive collection. So again, it's about the history and the connection with the water and capturing that and keeping it for generations to come. So I'm conscious quite a number of you have actually been out and seen some of the sites, and you'll be seeing more. And just to really talk to you about our collection within Waterways Ireland. So I'm just going to move along here. So we have a very large scale archive collection, some of which is based at our head office here in UKILN. It was a dedicated archive room that has been set up and established especially to hold these particular archive collections that are a list of engineering drawings dating back over 200 years. We have collections from some activists and waterway enthusiasts over the years. We also have many transparencies and photographs that have been given to us that we have managed to prepare and get ready, and we have now got an online collection which I will share with you as well afterwards. So I guess the purpose of my conversation today is really to outline how we have managed to bring what is an archive collection, physical documents, to life over the years, and how we've managed to do that. So our engineering collection, I guess, is quite vast. It is, we would have inherited some of that from the OPW when Waterways Ireland were initially established. So some of these collections date back from those times. Our engineering drawings, some of which document the ability of engineers to prepare the Shannon in particular for navigation over the years. We also have documentation of drawings of bridges, locks, weirs over the years, some of which still exist and some of which are still used by our engineers when they are developing new and maintaining existing infrastructure. So not only are they important to hold on for posterity, but they are also used practically by our engineers. We also have engineering journals that date back to the passage of boats on our canals years ago, listing the names of the boats, the cargo that was carried. So again, some really interesting information for those that are interested in that. But I think, you know, what it does tell is for years to come, we have that information. We're looking now, we're developing greenways, we're developing walking trails along our navigation. People are engaging, and we're now getting into the space of interpretation. Interpretation is about telling these stories. Our archives will play a vital role in being able to document why our towpaths that now are becoming greenways and blueways, etc., what they were in the past, how they were used by horses to transport cargo from the waterways to Dublin or to Belfast on the older waterways as well. So again, I think it's really a case of old to new, and again, the value that they bring. So this is a drawing that has been taken here in Lough Erne. It's I'm just looking at notes here, the Pretoria end of Enniskillen, an engineering drawing of a bridge at that time. We also have a bridge here that is also at the two ends of Enniskillen. Again, these date back to 1846. So again, from our perspective, it was very important that we protect these valuable documents. A lot of them are in a state of, poor quality. So we have them in cold rooms in storage, and this digitization project that we've undertaken will preserve these for years to come, allowing us to maintain and still hold on to the old versions, but allowing vast audiences, both here and those that are online or anybody across the world, to now access these invaluable documents. Another part of our archive collection are the donations that were given to us by, as I said, waterway enthusiasts, activists, those that have gone out, journeyed the waterways around the island of Ireland and have shared with us their journals, their photographs, and so on. And we have spent, our archivist, who I'm here representing today, Nuala Riley, some of you may have met her over the years. Nuala Riley has began a stage of protecting these photographs, curating them. Some of them arrived in a state that we didn't know where they were. So a lot of her work goes into identifying where these are. Some of the photographs that have been given to us clearly outline where they are, but some of it we have to go back and do research and identify what locations they are, what they're about, years, etc. So there's a huge amount of work that goes into preserving these images, but also then documenting them and curating them and cataloguing them on our website. So the Ruth Delaney collection is one of our most detailed collections on the archive website and indeed within our collection. We have transparencies that go back over the years. They're all fully digitised now. We have loose photographs, and this is part of a piece of work that is being undertaken by our archivist to actually, as I said, catalogue each of those, identify where they've been taken, and again upload those onto our website. We have illustrations that Ruth Delaney took and journals from her, documenting her journeys along the waterways over the years as well. So a fantastic collection, and we're very fortunate to have received this and be able to hold it within our collection for years to come. It will be managed, maintained, and not just sit in a room in someone's house. It will actually be there for people to see for years to come. This again is one of her images looking back at the Grand Canal, and I think all of us have photos lying around the house, family photos from years ago. You will just see the old visuals and that, and it's wonderful to be able to preserve those and keep those. These were workers weed cutting on the Grand Canal back in 1972. So again, over 50 years ago. So while it probably doesn't seem like a long time ago, work that we're doing now and up until 10 years ago will feature as part of our archive collection going forward. We also have the Ian Bath collection. The Ian Bath collection again was another advocate, but predominantly on the Royal Canal. Again, more transparencies, photographs, but again, he wrote a lot, and he was one of the founding members of the Royal Canal Amenity Group who fought to keep the Royal Canal open. And we're very fortunate that those people did that then. They were volunteers that fought to keep the Royal Canal open and make sure it was not filled in, and a motorway from Dublin all the way to Shannon Harbour, or down to Clondra, I should say. So they fought to keep that open, and we have photos that date back from its use in the early days, right back to when it was reopened, filled in with rubbish over time, and how they worked collectively and together with Waterways Ireland to reopen the Royal Canal. So again, we have a huge collection of images, editorial, etc. from Ian. And again, we do wish to, again, thank all of those that have given us their collections and their memories, I guess, over the years for us to hold for future generations. Again, another image dating back to 1978, and that's along the old Longford line of the Royal Canal that looks back on the harbour in Longford, for any of you that are familiar with it. Again, this is on the Royal Canal again. It's one of the old weirs in a state of somewhat disrepair. You can see the weeds that have taken over the canal back then. So again, the plight of this group really helped to open the Royal Canal all those many years ago. But I'm here today to talk about bringing the archive to life, and I'm actually going to have to refer to Nuala's notes for this particular slide, because I want to mention the people that helped us with this project. We had a World Canals Conference back in 2015 in Athlone, and part of that we wanted to develop an archive collection, and one of the pieces we wanted to do was look back at some of the old tools that were used to actually dig out the canals years ago. In this picture you'll see a barrow, what do we call it, a hand barrow and a wheelbarrow. They were actually remade, and I'll just call out, so these are the detailed drawings of barrows and spades by John McMahon from 1815. They're fascinating. It shows the materials and measurements required to produce these implements. We were actually able to take these drawings and then replicate these in real life. So we were able to recreate these tools with a little help. So our colleagues in Fermanagh and Omagh District Council, a carpenter by the name of Albert Robinson, constructed the wheelbarrow and the hand barrow. And the National Trust Patterson Spade Mill in Templepatrick produced the spade and shovel. So this doesn't really give you a sense of the size of these, but just to say that these props were quite small in size. So we were able to tell that typically the navvies that would have dug out the Royal Canal from years ago were probably no taller than 5'2". So interesting to see the amount of work. They did this manually with hand barrows and wheelbarrows. When you think of what we have now, the tools to dig out and maintain and open up new waterways, they were shifting 12 cubic yards of earth a day. So that was a significant amount of work. So again, it's wonderful for us to be able to recreate those from existing drawings that we have. We also have the digital archive. I've referenced it a couple of times. So we have now documented and digitised quite a lot of our drawings, a lot of transparencies, photographs, engineering drawings and journals, all available on our archive website. And I know, speaking here to the team earlier, we'll be able to share those with you. If you ever wish to visit our archives in Enniskillen, you're more than welcome to make an appointment with us and you can visit them in person. Or you can go to our website and you can see a lot of these drawings. The website that was launched in 2021, it holds a lot of different collections, stories, oral histories, but it also has an online catalogue of the drawings over the years. So you can go back and see some of the drawings over the years, and you can see proposals. Some drawings never made it to actual fruition. They never transpired to be a bridge or a weir, but it gave some insights into the types of work that were done. We also have, sorry, I'm going too fast there, the stories of the waterways and exhibitions that also feature on our website. They are, sorry, I've gone too far. We have stories and exhibitions about the Maguire Kings of Fermanagh, so dating back to the 13th century. We have podcasts and stories that tell their story, documented and narrated by other people that will tell the story of that time. We also are now on our third series of podcasts. Podcasts are a history of the waterways, narrated by historian Bunbury, and they include a mix of stories of people that live, work and play, some of our own colleagues in Waterways Ireland, talking about their stories, talking about life on the waterways in general. Some include people that have toured, that have adventured on our waterways. Others are engineers, others are historians. So I mentioned the Maguires, the Kings of Fermanagh. We have a story on it, again dating back to the Maguire family from the 13th century. We have a story that features Gwen Wilkinson. I don't know if many of you are familiar. She built a boat herself, a handmade minnock, I think it was called, and she paddled all the way from Lough Erne down to Graignamanagh, down to the Barrow on her own, and she tells her story of that adventure. So very, very interesting. Also, we have a story of the writers, and I may pronounce this name wrong, Seamus McAnna. He talks about the writers and the influence that the waterways had on writers over the years and how they influenced stories, etc. So again, all of these are available on our website in the podcast section, and they're available on any podcast forum, again, for anybody that wishes to listen on their long drive home or wherever you have to go. You may download that on your podcast. We're also in the process, this is a really beautiful piece that is being done by our Heritage Officer and Nuala Riley, our archivist. This is a wonderful piece and we'll be launching it in the coming weeks. We had an initial soft launch at a Heritage Week event in Tullamore a few weeks ago. This is called A Boatman's Journey, and this is a mix of narration and cartography working together to tell the story from a boatman's perspective of travelling along our waterways. So it outlines the visuals in terms of the map. Here, I'll just move to the next page and it'll give you a sense. This here is Grand Canal Dock. So those blue dots are where we have a story. So these stories can feature history, stories about buildings, stories about people, again, all the way from Dublin down to Shannon Harbour along the Grand Canal. It talks about the story from a boatman's perspective, so the cargo that he brought. But we also have real life 3D replica drawing of the barge. So you can see what the barge looked like in those days. So it's fantastic. It's about nearly ready to launch in the next 2 to 3 weeks, but again, will feature on our website as well. But a beautiful story from the boatman's perspective on how their journeys were and what they've seen along the route. And the stories dating back to the Bog of Allen, what was there, the bricks that came, the story of enterprise and trade, as well as everything else along the Grand Canal in this particular instance. We also have, and I think it's very important that we educate the youth as well. So part of our work is a learning programme. We want to ensure through the STEM cycle, we work with Engineers Week, Heritage Week, etc., to try and develop learning programmes for children, typically in primary school level, to look at our heritage, using our podcast to tell stories. But some of the learning programs that we have developed, and that's our archivist Nuala in the background there, with some children from here in Enniskillen, exploring maps, looking at the maps in our archives and understanding what's there. It's very important that the youth understand what they're seeing all around them, both, I'm sure, all of you from an environmental perspective. The more children understand at a younger age, the less likely they are to pollute, abuse, they understand what's in our waterways and what's along them. So for them to understand through STEM educational program really supports this. So we have the voices of the waterways, schools competitions, etc. These are the children again poring over a map here in UKILN. So very interesting for them to recognise an old map and see what has changed over the years. I'm conscious of time, so I think I'm bang on there, Dan. So again, as I said, we have very little information on Lough Erne as an example, and I know some of you are here from Lough Erne as well. So we would appreciate if any of you do have any information or would like to share drawings, information, reach out to us. My details will be here with Dan, and I can put you in touch with our archivist. But we want to continue to grow this archive collection for years to come, and what we're doing now will be the archives of the future. So thanks everybody. Thank you very much.